A really long-ass time ago, the universe was ruled by a super fancy race called the Orokin. The Orokin were a race of humanoids that were real fancy-like, lots of gold and all that nonsense. Basically, the Gucci of space. One day a war broke out between the Orokin and a race called the Sentients. The Sentients were so much more technologically advanced that they had just completely wrecked the poor Orokin buddies over there. Yeah, they seemed dead alright. After the war, the Orokin wanted a line of defense in case the Sentients got in a bad mood and decided to attack them again like a lady who has to pay for a bill at a date. They tried to experiment with a hive mind race called the Infested for a while, but nothing really seemed to work out. The last solution was to harness the power of void energy, which is essentially the bad dog spray bottle for sentients. While doing so, they caused an accident on a ship called the Zariman 10-0, which made a bunch of Orokin children get void-like powers. We call these kitties the Tenno. Good job, Orokin. After seeing what the Tenno could do with this brand new power, they wanted to weaponize it ASAP. This started the creation of Warframes. Get it? Because the game's called Warframe, and, while the Orokin were having fun making their new flesh puppets for the kiddos, the Sentient were still roaming space, and sent their last resort to kill off the rest of the Orokin, which was one Sentient named Nata. In the moment Nata was about to kill off the remaining Orokin, her motherly instinct kicked in, and she started to show affection for the Tenno. She took the Tenno under her wing in secret, and went under a new name, the Lotus. While the Orokin were crying in their graves, the Sentients were doing God knows what, and Nata was playing babysitting Mama for the Nintendo Wii, two factions that were enslaved under the Orokin started to come into light, the militaristic Grineer and the Bitcoin worshippers, the Corpus. While conflict went on, both factions decided, hey, we can do what we want now, right? In which two Orokin twins started a mass army of Grineer soldiers, and the Corpus started an empire based off of profiting on goods and resources like a biased blog poster asking for Patreon donations. After a ton of centuries later, closing in on the current day, the Corpus and the Grineer start conflicts all over the solar map. The Tenno have been sleeping for centuries, and are now starting to become reawakened by the Lotus, who wishes to use the Tenno and the Warframes as an equalizer to the conflict of the warring factions. And that's where you come in! Be prepared for space battles, awesome weapons, and... Oh god. I still don't have my first amp. I've been farming for 2 months. What?